now, that song takes on a real meaning in the movie. That's why we're playing it now. Our next guest is legendary actor. What's it like to be called a legendary actor? Diane Lane. She is best known for her roles in films like Unfaithful, saw it, Under the Tuscan saw that, and The Outsiders, definitely saw that too. Now she's starring in the new film. It's called Anniversary. So it follows the Taylor family as they find themselves caught in a controversial rising political movement. It's called The Change. Their lives begin to fall apart at an anniversary party when Ellen Taylor, that's played by Diane Lane, discovers that her son is dating her former student with whom she has, how shall we say, a very complicated past.
I understand how it must look, but I came here with the best intentions.
What do you want, Elizabeth?
Your son and I have a close attachment.
Right. It's all coming back. The skillful way you evade questions.
He loves me.
You good? You're very persuasive, aren't you?
Regardless of what you think of me, I don't want to be the reason things change in this family.
I think you underestimate my family.
Ooh. Diane Lane joins us now. That's such a good tease, don't you think, Diane? Let's just say Mama ain't happy when her son comes home with that one. She's not happy.
Well said. No, I mean, shot across the bow. You know, she lets it be known that she has business here and that he's in love with her, and that just chases the smile right off Mom's face.
Because she had some radical views back in the day when she was your student, and
correct.
You're very concerned. And I found this movie so unsettling because it seems almost scary to me, because you think, oh, this could never happen to us.
But then you start to think about it.
Yes, Nate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, that was one of the reasons I was so proud to be able to be an executive producer on the film, because it is so timely.
For sure.
We thought it was hyperbolic when we filmed it, and it was written in...
When was it written?
2021. Lori Rosine Gambino wrote it then in a pandemic shutdown. And, you know, it seemed like, well, a cautionary tale, and I think it's very apt that it's coming out Halloween weekend, because here we are. It is a frightening
scary times.
Story. Yes, yes. More so now than when we filmed it.
Of course.
And I'm very proud of the cast, and it's a great accomplishment for everybody.
Gayle mentioned you played a mom. You play a mom of 4 in the movie, and you do so wonderfully. Did you draw on your own experiences as a mom in real life?
Well, I have just the one, and I'm an only as well. So we tend to repeat what we know. And I mean, factoring in the sibling rivalry that goes on with a parent's affections, like, where do I fit into the vision that my parents would be proud of me? What does that look like? And there's pressure. There's pressure to perform, and then you resent that pressure. And, you know, if anybody feels silenced, then they rebel. And it's an interesting dynamic, families, and how they work in that way, so.
Yeah, you call Anniversary a horror story because, you know, as I often do, I didn't read anything about it because I don't want to be influenced. So when I saw Anniversary Story and they're starting, I thought somebody had an affair and it's going to be one of those, which I actually enjoy. But this is about...
You thought it was going to be that?
Yeah, I did. But this is when people have different political views, how dangerous and how polarizing it can become. And you call it
You call it a horror movie. We've been saying thriller, but yeah.
Yeah.
What is it about the views? I mean, you play a professor of political science. What is so different about what she thinks versus what the student thinks, Phoebe?
Well, I mean, back in the day when she was a student of my character, we hear the backstory, and she was very much about anti-democratic views and believing in a single-party system. And I kind of drew her out in the classroom to get her to speak more about it, and she felt bullied and quit the university, and it became, you know how you can get on a watch list?
Yes.
That happens, and people get disappeared in our film, and a lot of things are very... Yes, it gets taken to a level that we think is too much to believe, and yet we find ourselves very much on the edge of what's that current
I don't want to
event.
give anything away, but there's one scene where something happens in the movie that's so upsetting, and you give a scream that's so primal. I want to know how you did that and how many takes did you do, because I literally, the hairs on the back of my neck, because it was so raw. How did you do that?
When you see someone you love on television and something's happening, it's not okay at all. And it was one take. I said
one take?
Well, because you blow out your voice box when you really...
So you said, I'm doing this once.
Yeah, please record it.
We're rolling? Are we rolling?
Yes,
okay.
Yeah, exactly. Remember that old CB DeMille? Ready when you are, CB? You missed it. Oh, no, that's bad.
Yeah,
What is your hope? Go ahead, Nate. Go ahead.
Well, there's so many things that you can take away from this film, given that it is timely and very relevant. But what is your hope that people take away from this?
I think that silencing people can radicalize people. And I think 2 ears, 1 mouth, it's more important that we listen to each other. I don't think you go to war with people whose moccasins you've walked in a mile. Isn't that the old adage?
Yeah.
So empathy, like we always talk about, sympathy,
So well said.
compassion.
I love that.
And
2 ears, 1 mouth. I've never heard that before. It's well said.
Yeah.
I wish I made it up.
Yeah, 2 ears, 1 mouth. Yes, I've heard it, and it's very true. They say you have 1 mouth and 2 ears for a reason. Diane Lane, we thank you.
Yeah.
The name of the movie's Anniversary. It's in theaters now.
You are amazing once
We're out
again.
of time.